Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Would to God that ye could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. So here the Apostle Paul, is saying that I'm gonna speak a bit. Pull this up in the NLT as well. So I'm gonna speak a bit like folly, right? But just bear with me. Meaning he's gonna speak as a man. I hope you will put up with a little more of my foolishness. Please bear with me. Verse 2, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach. And here he's using the analogy, right, of a woman, a virgin that has been prepared and espoused, right? So Paul's espousal of the church of Corinth to the Lord is by teaching them the gospel, introducing them to the Lord, but also raising them up in the spirit, right? Guiding them, polishing them, making them prepared to be presented as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach, as he just said. So you would be basically you'd be ready at the coming of the Lord, in a state to be delivered. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach. NLT, but I fear that somehow your pure and undivided devotion to Hamashiach will be corrupted, just as Eve was deceived by the cunning ways of the serpent. For if he that cometh preacheth another Yahushai, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might bear well with him. You happily put up with whatever anyone tells you, even if they preach a different Yahushai than the one we preach. And you shouldn't do that, obviously, because they're preaching a different gospel at that point, or a different kind of spirit than the one you received, or a different kind of gospel than the one you believed. And that's dangerous because that spreads confusion, Let's see. Yep. NIV, it says, for if someone comes to you and preaches a Yahushai other than the Yahushai we preached, or if you receive a different spirit from the spirit you received, that is from Paul, or a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it easily enough. You don't vet it, right? You don't cross check it. You don't push back against it, and that's not good, because then you will be easily tossed about with every wind of doctrine. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles, but I don't consider myself inferior in any way to these super apostles who teach such things. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. And the word rude in speech, the rude is not not meaning like to be disrespectful, but rather, as it says in the fourth point, in the New Testament, an unlearned, illiterate man, as opposed to the learned and educated one, to the educated one who is unskilled in any art. So he's saying here, I may not be the best speaker, and I may speak as one that is unskilled, but not in knowledge. Okay. But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So as he says, I may be unskilled as a speaker, but I'm not lacking in knowledge. We have made this clear to you in every possible way. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself, that ye might be exalted? Because I have preached to you the gospel of Hamashiach freely. So he's saying, was I wrong? did I not do the right thing by preaching to you without expecting anything in return? Was that wrong of me? Should I have been like others that would do that? I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service. NLT, I robbed other churches, not like actually robbing them, but he's saying he's likening receiving, as he says here, as it says in the NLT, I robbed other churches by accepting their contributions so I could serve you at no cost. So he likens accepting their contributions to robbing them because he would rather just not receive money from them. But sometimes it's needful. And when I was present with you and wanted, meaning when he was present but he lacked or he was in need, I was chargeable to no man. Chargeable is like to be a burden. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. And in all things I have kept myself from being burdensome unto you, and so will I keep myself. So he's saying like anything I needed, the brothers from Macedonia, they brought it on to me. And I made sure to be able to avoid being a burden onto you, and I'm gonna continue on like that. As the truth of Hamashiach is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia. As surely as the truth of Hamashiach is in me, so as I have this breath of the Lord and I continue to preach this gospel, no one in all Greece will ever stop me from boasting about this. Wherefore, because I love you not, God knoweth. So he's saying, why? Because I don't love you? God knows that I do. That's not the reason why I'm saying this. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we. But I will continue doing what I have always done. This will undercut those who are looking for an opportunity to boast that their work is just like ours. See, because he's saying like the way that we've conducted ourselves amongst you, we're going to keep doing that same thing, so that others who are looking for us, because the others won't do that. They'll be burdensome onto you. They'll gladly accept whatever money and whatever you try to help them with, even if it becomes a burden. But we're not going to do that, because then they will have an occasion to say, see, our work is the way we do the work is no different than theirs. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. These people are false apostles. They are deceitful workers who disguise themselves as apostles of Hamashiach. Right? They're sheep. They're wolves trying to take advantage of the sheep. Because those that know more to somebody that's like a young in the faith, or newly come in, that has a zeal, they can easily be taken advantage of by one that knows more, because they look up to that person as, hey, this person is a man of the Lord, right? They have the Spirit of the Lord on them, so let me listen to what they say. But if you're not careful and this person is actually a wolf in sheep's clothing, they can take advantage, And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So you see, Paul's addressing here the case where you have men that would act as though they were like superior or apostles of the Lord, but really inwardly they're demons. And that's why he's likening it to say, like, even Satan himself can transform himself into an angel of light to deceive you, but it doesn't make him an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So he's saying here, if Satan can transform himself into an angel of light, then his ministers, meaning his servants, likewise can do the same and act like they're righteous. But guess what? Their end shall be according to their works. They're going to be judged according to their wicked deeds. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. NLT, again I say, don't think that I am a fool to talk like this, but even if you do, listen to me, as you would to a foolish person, while I also boast a little. So he's saying, you got people that are boasting in this and that and that. And because I'm always, I speak plainly unto you, right? and I never really boast of myself. people start to look down on him, right? Like, oh, Paul, he's always saying this. He's speaking so tough. Like, you know, he's not even a legit apostle. He wasn't there in the beginning with him. Like all of these different things. So he's saying, okay, so if that's what it comes down to, let me boast a little then, so you can see what I'm about. Verse 17. That which I speak not after the Lord, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting. So he's saying that the things that I'm about to say, these aren't the things of the Lord. This is me speaking, as a man, right? As in my boasting. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also, right? Since others boast about their human achievements, I will too. For ye suffer, if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face, meaning you basically tolerate anything. You put up with it when someone enslaves you. He takes everything you have, takes advantage of you, takes control of everything, and slaps you in the face. Paul is making the point here that you can't just sit and just let anybody come claiming to be an apostle and just take advantage of you, because then they can do whatever they want, and you just oh well, they said they were an apostle, so nah. It's like verse 21. I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit, whereinsoever any is bold, I speak foolishly, I am bold also. I am ashamed to say that we've been too weak to do that. But whatever they dare to boast about, so he's saying like how they take advantage of you. Well, we've been too weak to do that, right? To actually cross that line, to do something like that. However, whatever they dare to boast about, I'm talking like a fool again. I dare to boast about it too. He says speak foolishly because he's saying like these are things of, of really boasting about yourself surmounts to nothing, but he's inclined to do so now as he sees it fit. So he just says, just bear with me. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more. Right? So they're servants of the Lord. Guess what? I'm more. I'm a greater servant. In labors more abundant. In terms of work, I've done more. In stripes above measure. In prisons more frequent. In deaths often. So he's like, you want to talk about legitness? You want to talk about, hard work? You want to talk about earning your stripes? You want to talk about who's more qualified to be an apostle? I've done more. I've been beaten more. I've been beaten above measure. I've been in prison more times than they can even think. In deaths often. All right. In the NLT, it says, and face death again and again. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, saved 1. My God, that's 39 lashes. 5 different times, 5 different occasions. Thrice, that's 3 times, I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. Which one of them can say they were stoned? Thrice, 3 times, I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep. NLT, 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. Once I spent a whole night and a day adrift at sea. Since you want to talk about, boasting, you think if they had to go through that, they would still be here? In journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils of mine own countrymen. Okay, in dangers and troubles of the sea, of the water, of people robbing, right? Robbers of his own people, of the Jews, in perils of the heathen, of the actual Gentiles, of the actual heathens, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils amongst false brethren. He's had to suffer all these things. That's what Paul is saying. I've suffered danger in all these different, avenues. in weariness, in painfulness, in tiredness, in painfulness, in watchings. Watchings goes into sleeplessness, right? So in sleeplessness, sleepless nights often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. NLT says, I have worked hard and long, enduring many sleepless nights. I have been hungry and thirsty, and have gone without food. I have shivered in the cold, without enough clothing to keep me warm. Beside those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. So in addition to all of those things, the daily responsibility that I have of all the churches. Who is weak and I am not weak? Who is offended and I burn not? Who is weak without my feeling that weakness? Who is led astray and I do not burn with anger? Right? So as he's saying, like, which one of you, who feels weak and I haven't felt that? Right? Or who goes off or is led astray and that doesn't affect me? For if I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern mine infirmities. Because if you notice, he wasn't here boasting about the great miracles and I brought this person back from the dead and I healed this person and even just my handkerchief, was healing people, but rather in the things he suffered. Why? Because it shows his desire, his dedication, his drive for the Lord, and it shows what great workings the Lord is working through him, how dedicated he is to this. The God and Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, which is blessed forevermore, knoweth that I lie not. In Damascus, the governor under Aretas, the king, which was an Arabian king, kept the city of the Damascenes with a garrison, which is a troop, desiring to apprehend me. So he even had the king of Arabia after him. And you're like, damn, bro. But remember, when he first came into the truth, when the Lord opened his eyes, he did say he went to Arabia. Now, nobody knows what he did over there. But hey, yeah, at some point you had let's look up here Aretas. It says here an Arabian king. So even he was after Paul. And as I read this in the NLT, it says, when I was in Damascus, the governor under King Aretas kept guards at the city gates to catch me. Verse 33, and through a window in a basket was I let down by the wall and escaped his hands. So just barely escaping him, but he had to suffer all these things. So the next time you want to talk about him not being qualified, think again. And that brings us to the end of the book of 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.